And to us, this high school is everything. We just had both 10 years apart, but enjoyed the high school to the fullest. The dances were wonderful, the proms, everything you can possibly think of in a high school is what Brunswick High School represents. And tonight is going to be a fond, fond memory for everyone.
Joyce Ruth Conley graduated the year of 1965 and have a lot of sentimental value for the high school. Don't think it should be torn down. I think that we should find a way to preserve it, redo it, rebuild it. That's less money. And it's now Lucille's turn to talk.
Well, Lucille Fortin Jeffrey, class of 1965. My memories of this school are the wonderful dances we used to have in the auditorium. On Friday nights, if the dance wasn't here at the high school, then it would be at the recreation center. There were 2 dances a week, one every Friday and one every Saturday. We had a wonderful time. We had
street dances?
And we had street dances in the summertime at the A&P parking lot and at Bing's Market parking lot. And we made everlasting friends. A lot of friends here this weekend from Michigan. And my cousin is here from Tampa, Florida, and her family. So there are a lot of people here, and it's wonderful. I feel better about saying goodbye to the high school, having been involved in the Brunswick High School Alumni Association. But it's hard to say goodbye because I feel like Joyce that this building could have been saved.
You're going to make me cry.
As a Dolphin, I had him for commercial math, and he was a riot. He always had suspenders on, and he would pull, the whole time he was talking, he would pull his suspenders. And he was part of the Portland Symphony Orchestra.
He was really different.
He was different.
He was an awesome teacher.
Yes, yes, he was.
And he had a terrible temper.
Yes. Nice. Yeah. And Mr. Tonin, the principal at the time, when he spoke on the intercom in the morning, everybody sat at attention at their desk. Believe me. And when he talked, you paid attention.
Do you guys pay attention like that to your principal when he speaks over the intercom?
Boy.
My name's Bill Barrett. I graduated in 1965. I played football for 3 years. 1964 we were the Class B co-champions. We didn't get to play the championship game because it snowed too hard in November, so they canceled it. So they just made us co-champion. The following year they went to Class A, and they won Class A. And then after that, the football kind of fell apart there for a couple of years. And
you need to say something about Coach Pearl.
Oh yeah, Coach Pearl. He was a coach, and he used to have a little Citroen he drove, and we picked it up and put it on that platform out there one year, so he couldn't drive home. But he was a great guy. He really was. We didn't get away with much. Of course, the game's changed completely now. The things we used to do, they just outlawed them all. The cross blocking and all that. They can't do that anymore. And we used to play both ways. We played offense and defense. I don't know. There's not much.
My name's Donna. Burrow was my maiden name, and Barrett now, of course. I was a cheerleader for 4 years. Bill and I are kind of like the classic 60 cheerleader football player that end up getting married. We've been married over 40 years now. The fondest memory I have of a teacher in this school was Mr. Jewett, who was my physics teacher. He graduated from Bowdoin College, and we always knew if we had a double period and we wanted to get him gabbing and not take a lab, we could talk about Bowdoin College. He would talk for an hour. He was precious. The one thing I loved about Mr. Jewett was back then you didn't see too many girls in chemistry class. And he was, in physics class, and he was so pleased to have 2 girls in physics class. Now my chemistry teacher, on the other hand, Mr. Crockett, told the 4 girls that were in his chemistry class at the beginning of the year there would be none of us left two of us hung in there. So it was one of those things. He was just one of those men that you had to admire. He appreciated everybody who came into his class. And we did dedicate our 1965 yearbook to him, actually. Yeah.
My name is Pam Labby, and I graduated from Brunswick High School in 1955.
And I'm William Pappy Labby, and I graduated in 1956.
And we dated in high school, and I was a cheerleader, and Pappy was in 3 sports. He can tell you about that. My favorite memories of high school are athletic events, cheering, dances. We had a lot of dances, and I enjoyed my classes. I had Etta Barker for a commercial course and took four periods a day with her because she taught shorthand, typing, bookkeeping, and office practice, and she was a fabulous teacher.
I enjoyed basketball, football, and track under Warren Pearl and Ray St. Pierre, Bob St. Pierre, and I enjoyed playing sports and nice memories throughout my 4 years at Brunswick.
Also, as I said, we dated in high school, and we celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary a couple of years ago.
Thank you.
My name is Ursula Peral, graduated in 1956, and my fondest memories basically were cheering, and particularly football games, because I like the fall. And at that time, a lot of the football games, the Morse Brunswick football game, was on Whittier Field, and that was always on November 11th, and that was a very special football game, which of course we don't have that rivalry anymore. And we have dated all the way through high school since we were sophomores, and got married, and celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary also. I also enjoyed my classes, Tri-High-Y, and I'll let Bill tell about his sports.
No way. Well, I played sports, wasn't too successful at them except for baseball, and I had the first no-hitter as a pitcher in Brunswick High School history in 1956, and I struck out 23 out of 27 men, 9-inning ball game. And I had 1 no-hitter and 3 one-hitters that year. And basically my best time in school was going out with her as my girlfriend, but we had great teachers, and it was a very, very nice time.
It was a very good time to be in school.
But she also was secretary athletic director later on after she graduated for 20 years, and she really, really enjoyed that at this school, the old school, as well as the new school. So she enjoyed that a lot.
Mm-hmm. As
so
you see, I like spirit, school spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Ray Anderson Staples. I'm the class of 1963.
And I'm Ken Staples, class of 1960. And my fondest memories of the old high school was graduation. Not really, but no, I took the shop program, and I also, in the activities, I was in the projection crew, which is the forerunner of what you are doing now. So it's quite an experience. We went, if a class needed a film shown, we went to that classroom, set things up and ran the films, and then took care of the equipment afterwards. And special assemblies, stuff like that, if they needed sound, we handled that in. They also had a stage crew that handled the dramatic part of it, dramatics rather. Anything audio or visual, we and our instructor handle that for them. And it got us out of class.
Smoking in the boys' room?
That's not quite a fond memory.
It's not as fond as some of them.
As long as the boys' room on the 3rd floor, way up the top, in the end of the hallway. And I made a mistake in there once. But it only cost me a day of school.
My fondest memory would be being in the orchestra. I played violin for 24 years, and I was concert mistress for 3 out of 4 years in high school. And I really enjoyed that. We went on exchange trips, and at the time we had a teacher who was very strict and very precise in his direction, and I enjoyed that very much. Another fond memory I have of the high school is I used to work in this high school, this building. I worked while my children were students here. In the main office, I was the attendance secretary, and I enjoyed that immensely, getting to know all the children, students that were here to this day who remember me and speak to me on a regular basis.
How could you forget the truant officer? That's basically what you was.
Right. I worked a lot closely with the truant officer from the police department at times. But just being with the students and seeing how they grew through the 4 years, how they would mature and change, it was a wonderful experience. And the adults that I worked with were absolutely wonderful. They were great people, they knew what they were doing, and they were very understanding usually of all of the children's problems, students' problems, which I found to be very enlightening as a parent, because they taught me a lot about being a parent working here. And thank heavens, both of my children are very well educated and very well personally, and that's about it.
Good evening. My name is Jane DiBiasio. I'm a graduate of the class in 1970. Oh, my fondest memories of high school. Well, I had fun all 4 years. I was always active in the band and the chorus. I was president of several clubs. And of course, I always enjoyed the field trips the most with the band. I sure will miss our alumni, our old Brunswick High School, and always remember all the good memories we had and all the good friends that I went to school with.
Great. Any specific memories?
Oh, can we say that on tape?
Yeah. So people have said some pretty funny things already.
Oh my gosh. It's hard to like recall some things at the last minute, you know, that, oh my goodness. I probably would say, one of my fondest memories, there's probably several, but I was the first female in the history of the Brunswick High School Band Color Guard to ever be promoted to sergeant. And at the end of that, I did receive a nice trophy. And I do always remember that. Those are good days. They had the band and the chorus, special teachers, Mr. Carol Guggens, Mr. George, the band teacher. Probably my favorite math teacher was Mr. Dolphin. And by far, Mr. Carroll with the drama club. We always had a great time in the drama club. And I think that year, the drama club, it was 1970, we did Brigadoon. And we had a little cast party afterwards. And I remember that someone brought in a beer. Now, we're going back to 1970. Now, a beer back in those days was evil. So I remember the party got broken up because somebody found a beer can on the counter in the kitchen. And that was the end of the cast party. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
It's interesting. No, it's not bad.
One beer can. Well, we're going back 1970 back then, so. If this was like, you would think it was around Prohibition, you know, when this all happened. But no, are they going to like edit this stuff out?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jan Sadler Collier, the class of '64. Go Dragons. I'm Liz Levitt Newman, and I think cheerleading was the big thing I remember the most. And Brunswick High School was just the greatest place to be.
I'm Jan Lynch Minzy.